Yeah.
What's up, guys? Sorry the camera cut out right there. Just slam one home. Welcome to the episode with the Health Dudes. I'm Easy Wins Mitch.
They gon' think I want a Grammy. They gon' think I want a Grammy. They gon' think I want a Grammy. They gon' think I want a Grammy.
What up, what up, what up? IG and Facebook. Let's see if we get anybody on here.
All right, I think we got it.
Alright, cool.
So let's get into it then.
Zach the PNC right here.
Easy Wins Mitch right here. So Mitch Harb, we got a few different cameras going, just so you guys know.
All right.
So we'll jump right into it then. This is kind of our traditional post-gym exercise conversation. We do this after basically every gym session on Saturday. So we want to jump into about 3 topics for you guys, and just kind of have a little bit of conversation, good discussion. We'll kind of see where things go with that. So the first topic that we had was kind of like what me and Mitch had a conversation on coming over here, and it's, you know, maybe you guys on Instagram will like this one over on Mitch's Instagram. Mitch had a post. Tell them about your post.
So I did a post yesterday on eating, this hamburger is healthy, or I said our burger's healthy, because in my mind, people associate food with being bad, when, like, yeah, you can make it bad, but you can also make it good, right? And one thing I want to point out real quick is I said our burgers unhealthy, and then I said if you make them.
Yeah.
And I got so many people like, what are you talking about? If you make them yourself?
Yeah.
I was like, no, if you make them unhealthy, they can be unhealthy.
Yeah.
And when I was posting it, I was like, oh man, I just realized, like, some vegans out there might be upset because I have meat up there. But I was like, you know what? I can't live my life like just afraid of what someone thinks. So I posted it anyways, and just as I suspected, got attacked by a lot of vegans out there just being upset. And let me start off by saying I get it, like animal cruelty, all that stuff, like that's so bad, but I think so many people miss the point of the post.
Yeah.
Right? And the point was just to say, like, you can do certain things to, like, make some food a little better for you. Like, you can improve the quality of the food. You can make things a little more lighter in the calorie side.
Yeah.
And so you can enjoy your favorite foods, which is what I was trying to show you, and still maintain your goals, hit your goals.
Yep.
But everyone jumped to the conclusion of, you know what, you're supporting animal cruelty and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, and that gets into a whole nother topic of conversation, obviously. But my thought on the post when I saw it was, you know, there's 2 examples. There was a burger that had some avocado on it. It was just the patty and the bun, and that was kind of an example of maybe a healthier way to go about a burger versus like that bacon, cheese, and all that stuff. And so if you break it down, if you are a meat eater, obviously that precludes you if you're a vegan, but you could use a different patty. So it's not has to be so literal, but it's like an idea of, okay, what can I do to make the things that I already enjoy just a little bit healthier? You know, maybe take some calories out if you're trying to lose weight, that's what you're trying to do. Or for someone like me, maybe I'm just trying to eat a little bit healthier, more balanced diet, so I might throw some kale or spinach or, you know, romaine lettuce on my burger with fresh tomato, onion, the burger patty, and the bun, and that's actually a fairly healthy meal. I mean, you know, like we talked about, I kind of commented on your post, and like, if you can get rid of the fries on the side and go with a salad, then there is absolutely nothing wrong with that meal, unless, of course, you have things against animal products, which obviously is a whole nother conversation to be had.
Well, I think the post, you said it right. Like, if you are someone who doesn't eat meat, take the meat out of the equation. You could still make, like people kept recommending, like the Beyond Meat patties.
Yep.
Okay, replace that meat patty with the Beyond Meat. You could put a Beyond Meat with 6 slices of cheese and covered in ketchup and mayonnaise, and it would not be the best for you.
Yeah.
And then you could take a Beyond Meat, put an avocado, a bunch of veggies, and it's gonna be good for you.
It's the exact same thing for those people who are vegan out there. And my sister and my brother-in-law and their family is vegan, and they do this. But that was more of the point that I got of the post was you could take a Beyond Meat patty and put diet cheese or whatever like replacement cheese on it with veganase and all of and you know the fake bacon that you can get or what, I'm not sure what the terminology for that is, but you could put all that on that burger and then you've made a more unhealthy version of that same burger that you could have made with just those other more simple, you know, whole food ingredients. So that's kind of, I think, the takeaway for what we've been talking about over the past 9 weeks to you guys is, you know, ways that you can take things and change them so that, you know, you don't have to get rid of everything all at once. And
getting out of that restrictive mindset.
Yep.
I can't have a burger.
Yeah, that's the mindset is like, and changing things slowly over time. You know, you'll get there. Maybe just don't have the bacon and the cheese, or don't have the bacon this time, or don't have the cheese the next time, and just start slowly. Like, you don't have to get on a 5-day-a-week diet and start eating, you know, vegan and you know, riding an electric bicycle and doing all these things all in one day. It's just steps towards those, you know, things if that's your goal. And some of us, it's not our goal. Like I am fine with eating animal products, although I do eat a good amount of vegetarian or plant-based meals, and I think both are good. And so that's just the kind of weight and, you know, like checks and balances that I have in my own system. And so I'll never be someone that just says like, oh no, I'm only keto or like I'm only vegan, because I think there's such good things to be had from a variety of different styles of diet. So
100%. And also, I think another point of this that I want to make is like, if you want someone, if you have something you feel strongly about, there's ways to go about it to I guess influence people to do it. And like, I was thinking about it in my head, it would be like, think about if anytime someone was sitting down, you know, I was like, dude, why aren't you doing push-ups, man? Why aren't you working out, dude? Or if right now I was going around the mall, like, hey, dude, you're not at the gym?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? You know, because that's the wrong way to go about it. You know, and that's what it's like when someone who is vegan comes and attacks like my post or something like that. I don't have anything wrong with what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
But if you want someone to, and I did this in my stories, if you want someone to follow what you're doing or hear you out, share your story, share the benefits of it. And Mike Rashid, he's a bodybuilder who, he did this in a post, really good job. What he did was he said, here's what it's helped me with, here's where I was at. And then he's like, I'm not trying to impose anything on anyone, but I'm just letting you know what it feels like.
Yep.
And so I think like whatever it is that you're passionate about or feel strongly about, that's how you gotta approach things.
Yeah.
Because
and I think that's like the whole thing of like, build the biggest building and don't tear everybody else's down. There's a million different ways to be healthy. Regardless, if you think that there's only one way to be healthy, we know that's not true. There's not only one way to eat healthy, and all these other diets are gonna kill you early, because as humans, we've been generally surviving longer and longer, and we've been healthier and healthier over the past, 100 years, and the majority of us eat, a meat-based diet, meat and plant, stuff like that. So, to say that, you're gonna die from heart disease a lot quicker, it's like, we don't really know that because the longitudinal studies aren't really there for all of these different types of diets yet. So just be careful also what you give advice on. So like Mitch was just giving advice on a comparison of this versus this. He's not saying if you go out and eat vegan, then you're gonna be weak and break your bones. Like, he's not saying any of that stuff. So that's what I think people should be cautious about is, don't just step on people, especially if you think you know all of the research, you might not know it.
Well, and like I said, like you just said, I was just making a comparison, right? I wasn't saying you should be eating a burger. It was like, for the people out there who feel like they can't eat one because it's not gonna hit their goals, that is who I was trying to show you. You can do it if that's what you wanna do. Yep. What's happening?
Yep.
And so, I mean, that's just all I was trying to get across. And I think it can lead into the other topic we're gonna talk about, which is there's so much information out there, and I saw it in the comments. People trying to refer to all these scientific studies, all these different things, when there's just so much different research out there that you really have to, you can't just look at something. I appreciate that, Liz Fit.
Yeah.
You can't just look at something and say like, oh, this is law. There's so much behind it, because right now, let's say me and Zach have the highest vertical that you've ever seen, and we go take this protein powder, and then they say, protein powder makes you jump higher than the average person.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much other underlying things, and that's the whole thing with being vegan, and a lot of the studies people refer to is like, majority of people are meat eaters, so that's going to include a lot of people who make other unhealthier choices, whereas the people who are vegan probably
they're more mindful of their choices.
Yeah, because they already made
so that's a variable where it's a sample bias, because you've got a sample of a group of people who tend to be more in a certain way. That's like pulling people outside of Trader Joe's versus Walmart. You're going to get a different kind of customer base. Now, do different types of people visit both those? Yes, but you're going to get a sample bias. So that's one of the problems with that. And I think then there's also a problem with evaluating literature. I mean, as a physical therapist and an exercise scientist, I've been trained to evaluate literature and studies, and it takes a lot to be able to evaluate a study and see how good the study is, because there's so many variables. There's testing biases. You know, was it a single blind? Was it a double blind? What was it inclusive of the entire population? And then, you know, who funded the studies, and what, you know, did they omit things that they shouldn't have omitted? And was there outliers, and how did they come about, you know, and then what kind of calculations did they do to come up with their data? So there's so much intricate stuff that I think the average person, we can't go out and, you know, you read the headlines, and you might read an article on Newsweek or bodybuilding.com or something that summarizes an article, but a lot of times when I read those summaries of the article, that's not even close to what the article actually came up with. That's whatever that journalist's idea of that article was. So that's their interpretation of it. So, and that's the other thing, this scientific data is up for interpretation a lot of times. So just be careful what you read, especially if you're just grabbing headlines. If, you know, you see a post on Facebook or even on Google News, and it says, you know, eating meat leads to heart disease. Well, you can't take that at face value. You obviously have to read into that a little bit more to be able to fully understand what that study has found and what the implications of that study are. So,
and I think the way you go about it is, if you read something that catches your eye, you're interested in it, you want to know whether that is going to work, do the study on yourself.
Yep.
Right? Like, if you feel like that is like something you want to try, like even I did. Like, it's so funny, people, the vegan community attack me because I tried it out because I want to see what it's like. Because I don't have anything against any type of diet. And so, like, I'm down with whatever. I'm cool with, if you want to be keto, I'm cool with whatever you want to do. But don't try and tell someone else that what they're doing is wrong.
Exactly. And I think it's just being open-minded about like when you come into it, you can't, I don't ever fully commit myself. I take aspects of every diet, because I think the bottom line that's going to come out in any research that comes out is, it's not good to be all in on one different thing. It's probably good to be spread around into these different areas, you know, mixing it up, keeping the body guessing, you know, eat some keto meals, eat some, you know, meat-based meals, eat plant-based meals, go full vegan, you know, like cleanse this, you know, do these different things. And so, like, I try to keep balance, like anything in my life. I don't want to get too strong for my mobility. I don't want to get too mobile for my strength. I don't want to get, you know, like all of these things, it's just balances. So I try to keep the diet balanced and all that.
Well, what you said was you have to be open-minded, and you have to be okay with being wrong. I think that's the biggest thing with everything, because we were talking about earlier, everything is evolving. So much new knowledge comes out on exercise, so much new knowledge comes out on nutrition, that like people who were the top people in the game were preaching something 10 years ago that is bullshit. You know, we've proven that it's just really not that great. So, but that's okay. Like you can, and that's why it's so good to not be so one-sided and everyone else is wrong. And then you're probably gonna get proven wrong.
And then have humility when, you know, if you say something and then someone shows you or you learn otherwise, don't just hold on to it, because you know that's what a lot of us do, and you know it's pride. It's a pride thing. So just make sure that you know. Just try not to be so judgmental of these diets, and try them out for yourself. I think that's the bottom line of it.
Yeah.
Is try it out for yourself, see what it's like. If you like it, do it. But you know, try to be open-minded about what other people are doing.
If in 5-10 years someone comes and says like a hamburger is actually the worst thing for you, here's the actual science behind it, I'll say, dang, you know, I was wrong.
Yep.
And I, you know, like I'll probably still have one when it's every while, but you know, but like it's okay.
Yeah.
Like I'm not out here to attack anybody. I'm just trying to. We're all just trying to help, and that's another thing I think is huge. Is the community needs to realize like everyone's just trying to help.
Yeah.
And if you truly are trying to help, then that's kind of the attitude you'll have.
Yeah. So let's take a complete 180.
Yeah.
And last topic is a little bit lighter, and it's foam rolling.
So there was a question that someone asked.
Yeah, so that came about. We like to take anyone who has any questions, post them now. Actually, probably better to DM them to Easy Wins Mitch or at Zach the PT. DM us your stuff, your questions, and then we'll try to get them answered on this, and it might become one of our topics. So the topic was foam rolling. I have a decent background in it since I come from exercise science, physical therapy. We use those in our clinic. And so I can talk a little bit about that, but first I'll let Mitch talk a little bit about his experience with them and kind of what his thoughts are.
Yeah, I mean, I think number one, people have to realize like it's just another tool that's gonna help you feel better, right? Like it's not gonna be like, I don't know, people seem to think like it's not necessary, or it's like this magical thing.
Yeah.
But in my experience, it's everyone develops tightness in certain areas, and so it's gonna be something that can relieve that. And like for me, yeah, it hurts a little bit when you're doing it sometimes, but you never leave a foam rolling not feeling a little better.
Yeah.
You feel the same way?
Yeah.
And so I recommend if you sit at a desk all day, like things are gonna be tight. Your hips are gonna be tight. So you should probably foam roll them here and there, maybe once a day for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And my experience, like you feel better. You feel better throughout the other movements you're trying to do, working out, and it's going to, in the end, prevent injury because you're not so tight, risking that.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. It's a tool. It's just like anything else. I think we jump on these things, like people are using the Hyperice and the Theragun, and you know, we've been doing cupping and dry needling, and like we've gone through all these phases. So it's a tool just like any other tool. So you have to use it in moderation, and it's not going to be good in a vacuum or by itself. So what you have to do is realize that, you know, there's not any perfect way to do it. I would say that most of us probably foam roll too much. You don't need to be on the foam roller for 10 or 15, 20, 30 minutes. 60 seconds per muscle group is probably gonna be okay. What we also know from the literature, scientific studies of scar tissue and myofascial release techniques, you're not gonna be breaking up any scar tissue. You're not gonna be breaking up any fascia, not that you'd really wanna break up fascia. That's kind of normal structure in the body. What it does do is puts in deep pressure to the muscle, which has been shown to give a neurological response for relaxation of that muscle. So it can temporarily kind of help with muscle relaxation. It might help you get into a deeper stretch. It might just purely feel good, just like a massage feels good. It releases endorphins, and that's what makes you feel good. So just understand, it's just another tool. Don't spend too much time doing it. If you miss a day, it's not gonna kill you. But you know, with anything else, consistency is going to be important. If it's painful now, over time you'll desensitize to it, and that muscle tissue actually be desensitized to that deep pressure, which is, I think, one of the things that helps to prevent some of that soreness. So you know, try it out. Some people use the roller bars, some people use the bigger foam rollers, and we've got a video coming out on kind of how to do the foam roller correctly. And then we've also got a few other videos. We did a poll. If there's anything you guys want to see, shoot us a DM, leave a comment on one of the pictures or videos that we post, so that we can get that stuff up for you guys. So we've got some supersets coming for you, some exercise technique videos coming for you. We've got some cardio finishers, some strength finishers for your exercise, for your workout routines. And so we got some good stuff.
Almost blew my Achilles on that.
Yeah.
Is it worth it to consider fiber content in veggies if you track macros and calories? Been in the dilemma recently when I realized MFD calories and macros don't add up. Is it worth it to consider fiber content in veggies if you track your macros? Well, you want to hit a certain number of fiber in a day. So I think for HST, so for typically you want to get around 30 grams. Some people say like 25 if you're a woman, 35 if you're a male. I always say like shoot for 30, and that's typically good. You might go 5 over, you might be 500, and you're in the safe range.
Yeah.
But that being said, if you're eating whole foods, like typically you're just gonna hit that number pretty easily. The only time I say to look at it is if you're having issues, right? Like if you're having digestive issues. 65 grams. So also you can go a little too high, but again, are you having issues, right? Like if you're having digestive issues, that's one of the side effects of eating too much fiber, is you can actually back yourself up. But if you're not, you know, everyone's different, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the thing with a lot of that stuff is like, are you having issues? Then we gotta look at things. But if you're operating pretty fine, eating 65 grams.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's body handles different things differently. You know, different people need different amounts of nutrients, macronutrients, and so, you know, I think there's pretty wide ranges and usually on those recommended daily amounts. So
yeah, like I said, it's going to be a prescription. If you are having digestive issues, we're going to look at where you're at. Oh, you're pretty low, let's step it up. You know, or if you're having digestive issues and you're that high, I'm going to say let's drop it down a bit.
Yeah.
You know, but if you're good, and that's the thing I think a lot of people do is they wonder if they're doing the perfect things. Like, how do you feel?
Yeah.
That's the first question.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, again, any questions like that, shoot them over to me, or we try to do these. We've been doing these videos, just shooting these videos. We're gonna start going live every time. So if you do have questions, pop in on the lives, ask questions, or shoot us a DM. Again, this is at Zach the PT. And we will either answer them right there or let you know when we're gonna answer them.
Yeah.
It'll get answered, I promise you that.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, we're here to help.
Yep, we're 10 weeks in. We've got the project coming out soon, so be on the lookout. All right, later guys.